You're watching Lansdowne Raw, the voice of the fans. I'm Martin Prendergast, joined by Connor McAvoy as their transfer window slams shut. Very welcome to another Lansdowne Raw live. Connor, how are you getting on? A very busy day for you, I'm sure, in the McAvoy household, or the Rep Tracker household, should I say. We've got Obig coming up, and we've got a very stressed out, or maybe he's not stressed out. He's got a very fulfilled looking Connor McAvoy there, checking out the transfers all day, ready to update the Raw faithful. Welcome.
I am. Tell you what, before you even get a chance, I am buzzing because it's off Martin again. I can finally watch Andy Moran play football again. It's a great time. It's a great time to be alive, isn't it? It's a great time to be alive. And the beauty of him now being in the championship, he will go directly up against his competition for the Ireland squad, and he will prove everyone wrong. He will show that how elite of a footballer he is. But yeah, before I get into it, I'm a bit confused. Why have you got a sticker on your shoulder, you absolute idiot?
It's just a bit of advertising. This is some promotional.
You might want to stand
material.
up
This
because
is one
Martin
of our
Prendergast's
favourite.
name is covering it.
There you go. It's not now, is it?
To make it.
Oh, there you go. Look, there you go. That's my Heimer sticker. In the spirit of Heineken. I've got that added onto my shoulder here. I've got some in the background as well, my Coleman ones. These are our wonderful stickers, Connor. I'm shamelessly promoting some of our merchandise. Fantastic. Sorry, it's just speaking to Mike. Some of our fantastic merchandise available from Raw for the Raw faithful. You can buy those from our wonderful club shop. The link is in the description, I'm sure, and including our wonderful coasters. And yeah, they've been very, very popular, Connor. Thanks for asking. But I thought I'd put it on there because I've got a load of them. I purchased some already from the stock, and I'll be bringing them over to Prague, and I'll be decorating every bar I go in with our Irish themed stickers. So that was just my shameless plug. But first of all, action-packed show. Want to hear from the Raw faithful this evening. Seen some of your comments come in already. Transfer deadline day, as we said. And if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you do click that little subscribe button. It does make all the difference to us. But you can also follow us on all our social media platforms. That's Facebook, X, Twitter, if you still want to call it that, and Instagram, of course, as well. And make sure you do give Connor a follow at Rep Tracker because he has all the news on all the transfers affecting our fantastic Irish lads, especially some of these young players are moving. We can see a lot of loan deals happening. We've got it all covered, and we're going to find out as well how the lads got on over the weekend. Wonderful Monday evening to celebrate the closing of the transfer window. Some of them I'm probably going to drip through still as well, but want to see how the lads got on over the weekend. And make sure you do subscribe. And we want to hear from you. Who's your favourite move? Who do you want to still see? Maybe is the window works a bit weird. You have to have the paperwork in by 7. Still a lot of speculation. Our lead actual question was about Festy Abasele, speculation linking him going to Wrexham, but we have had a number of transfers confirmed already, and we'll be getting to all of those and also to how the lads got on over the weekend, as I said. But we want to hear from you, the Raw faithful, this evening. Make sure you give us a comment, give us your questions, and a little reminder as well, we're all off to Prague. With or without tickets, we're all going. We're going to qualify for the World Cup on the 31st of March, 2026. It's going to be another historic date in Irish football. We're going to be there. So make sure you do follow us on all our social media platforms. But I want to remind you all as well, if you have yet to apply for your ticket for a high demand ticket for Prague, the window for the away portal for the FAI closes tomorrow. So make sure you do at least put your application in, because it's also important for the FAI to recognise, even if you're not going to fulfil the criteria to qualify for a ticket, because there's 1,024 available, make sure the FAI know that we're all behind Irish football and we have huge demand, because it's going to help us in future when we're travelling around the world watching Ireland. And that's what I would say. Right, Connor, where are we going to start with? I know you're desperate to get going this evening. Lots and lots of news in Irish football. Some action over the weekend to follow. But as you said, we're going to put this one up. First of all, you're very, very happy. Your boy is back in football. Tell us where Andrew Moran is going.
He's not going anywhere. He signed. Just announced there, actually.
What was it,
an hour ago? Signed for Preston North End in his Spudbro sponsored Preston shirt, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it is. It is. Yes, actually, it is a lovely shirt in fairness. But it's hard to make an an ugly plain white shirt. It was just the
Is
badge
this a
and the
loan
stuff.
deal or permanent move?
No permanent move. So
Oh
Andrew
wow.
Preston on a permanent deal for £1.5 million, 3.5 year deal. To Preston, who are competing for the playoffs, which is very interesting. As we all remember, Andrew's already been on 2 loan spells in the Championship before. Blackburn, firstly, then Stoke. Blackburn went very well at the start, and then when it started to go bad as a team for Blackburn, he started to get shifted out onto the right wing, and we didn't see the best from him towards the end of the season. Started to fizzle out. Stoke started very well again, was playing in the middle of the park, but then their manager got sacked. Brought in Mark Robbins. Actually, they went through 2 managers before Mark Robbins, and then Mark Robbins started playing him on the right hand side, and it was in a Mark Robbins team. You can't be an Andy Moran type player on the right hand side. So towards the end of the season, he didn't really play at all. And now he went to LA, as we all know. We spoke about a lot. Went to LA in 2025 for half a season and done quite well. But he wanted to come back to Europe, turned down a permanent move to LA, and is back in England with Preston. We all thought maybe he might have went to the continent this time around. We thought maybe Championship wasn't for him, because the reality is he was at 2 relegation challenging teams. Blackburn and Stoke both went down to the wire to stay up in the Championship in the seasons he was there. And you were thinking, would it be another Championship like loan threat or relegation threatening side? But this move has popped up. Preston were sitting in the playoffs for quite a while there, but unfortunately they missed last. I think they lost last 3 games in a row, and now they've dropped out of the playoffs. But they're 3 points off the playoffs. They have quite a young, good squad. And the positive thing for me, because I know why people say, "Oh, you want them to play in Europe," but because they're challenging higher up in the table, they play with a 3-4-2-1, which Ireland go with shape wise. So it is going to be very interesting. It's going to be the same shape, same system that Ireland tend to go with. And he's not going to be a lone player anymore. A permanent deal, I think, is a very young coming into different clubs, because it's very, very hard going in as a young player, especially to EFL, because as you know, Martin, you go in, you have 1 bad game, you have 2 bad games, the fans turn on you. Once the fans turn on you, the pressure's on the manager to drop you. And once you come out of the team, it's pretty much impossible to come back in. The club will think, well, we only have him on loan. We just benefit in keeping him here. We'll just send him back eventually. He might be here for the season or half a season. But because he's on loan, they're just gonna have to play him, and he's gonna play. I know for a fact we're gonna see the Andy Moore that we have been waiting to see for years, because there's a reason why he was so talked up as an underage player. He's the best Ireland underage player I've seen in terms of what he done under 18 level for Brighton in the Premier League that season when he first moved over, was out of this world. And I think it's just been a matter of time to get, as obviously, because the thing is, he's very slight, he's very small, so it's going to take him a while to adapt to senior football. I think he's got through that adaptation period. Obviously, he'll get back to Championship. It's a big difference in the style of play from the MLS, and yeah, so it's going to be a big season for Andy at the end of the year, hopefully finishing the playoffs. And you never know if somehow they got promoted, which I don't expect them to do, because they've quite a small budget. They wouldn't have the same talent as maybe some of the other playoff challenging sides, but I think it's going to be a very good move for Andy. And the thing is, we've playoffs come up in March, which are going to be huge for Ireland. He's going to be going directly up against his competition for his place in that team, because we've loads of lads that are doing quite well, but they're all doing the Championship. So if he can show it in the Championship and maybe outperform some of them, it'll put him right back in the Ireland setup. And the reality is, like, he's one of those players the team should be built around for his talent. Technically, he's elite. And it's just about the physical side of the game he just needs to improve on. And I do think it will eventually come to him. And we're going to see a special player, hopefully, in a Preston shirt. And they're going to make a lot of money. Like, getting him for £1.5 million is an absolute bargain. They're going to, I don't know how much they're going to triple, quadruple, what's 5 times their money on him. So yeah, and it's for probably Bray Wonders, who sold him to Brighton as a 16-year-old quite a number of years ago, and obviously this is his first permanent move since leaving Brighton, or since Brighton. So they will get, I'd imagine, 10% anyway as well out of it, so 150 grand in sterling anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm just delighted he's back playing, especially as I said to you off stream, Martin, that because he's now back playing the Championship, we can all watch him every week, and we can all watch Preston. Obviously will be on TV the odd time, and we'll see Andy Moore on a regular basis. Are you as happy as me?
And yeah, and brave.
Thank
Andy Moran back in football in England, and Connor is delighted. I don't know how you got. You probably have to buy another screen to be able to watch him now. I mean, first game, I think, who was it against on Saturday? I think they've got a game, haven't they? Preston, and they're at home to Portsmouth. So no midweek action. So again, a little bit of time to settle in, which is good for him, I think. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how they're getting on because, as you said, it's a strange one. Drew last time out, Preston, but lost 4 consecutive games and got a hammering, didn't they, off Borough 4-0. So it's you could think they're struggling a little bit, but they're in 8th, and it's very competitive, the Championship, as we know. So it's a massive opportunity for him. I mean, it's not so long ago he played in, for Ireland against England and Wembley, and it's incredible, really. And I know
when he came on that day. Dave likes to have a go at me, but he was our best player when he came on that day.
But I just think it's amazing, really, isn't it? That a player who can play against England in a high-profile game at Wembley and yet struggling to get minutes with teams and stuff, and coming back from America, and yeah, it's brilliant for him. And yeah, look, we want to see as many of our lads playing regularly as possible. And yeah, that's the first one anyway. That took about 10 minutes, but that is because you love him so much. But look, loads to get through. Thanks for your comments coming in. We will get to all of those, of course. We promise you that. But yeah, still seeing them drip through some of these loan deals, etc.
Well, we go to the breaking news. It's just announced at the last
the breaking news
6 minutes
about your favourite player.
No, but your favorite player. I don't know which player. I don't know, to be honest, because there's constant breaking news. But
Sammy?
Yeah, Sammy Smolix has joined Derby County on loan until the end of the season. It'll be interesting if there's a buy option out or obligation to buy. Back working with John Eustace, who obviously was his manager, managed Andy Moran as well at Blackburn when he scored 27? Was it 27 goals he scored in the Championship a couple of years ago, which was mental when you think about 27 goals in the season. And yeah, left Ipswich, back to his old manager, signing for Derby County, who are having a decent season. I think they're on the same points as Preston, and a team that he would play every week at, which is the most important thing, which he wasn't really doing. Well, he was playing, but he wasn't starting. He wasn't a key man. I think John Eustace will probably make him the main man at Derby, so I think it's a good move for Sammy Spadix particularly. I know he gets a lot of stick from Irish fans about whether he's going to be in the squad or not, but if he's fit and he's available in March, if he does really well between now and then, I think he puts him back in the picture again.
Well, I mean, just like I said, the Championship's really, really competitive, and some of these clubs are making these moves now for players who, we talk about risks of the lads moving, but some of them needed moves. Like, it's not a surprise. Andy Moran needed a move. Sammy needed a move, and we're going to come on to a few others as well. But it's such a competitive league, that Championship, and there's nothing separating. Like from 6th well, actually, if you go to the top 2 on 58 points away, but then 53 down to 43 points. Yeah, 10 points difference. It's covering like 10 teams. It's ridiculous. So it's really, really close. And some of them all, and they're going to be playing. I think let's be honest, some of the levels are the Championship, which is not to be disrespectful about it, but you're going to play week in, week out. Like Sammy Smolix, brilliant record there, scored loads and loads of goals. That's what we want to see. And then he comes into Ireland and he can hopefully do the same. We've got a lot of players playing there, but yeah, I'm happy with that one. I think that's a really good move for him. So yeah, that's certainly a good one. Right, we're going to come on to another player. This is a lad who we actually just seen the comment coming now. We will actually throw up some of these comments and we'll remember that we went through them. But Martin Fitzpatrick, regular viewer and support of the show. Thank you again for your support. Good to see Johnny Kenny get out of Celtic. Yeah, he's gone to Bolton. A brilliant move, I think, for him as well. We'll play regularly there. Obviously, did okay with Martin O'Neill first of all when he came in there, but probably this is the level, I think, again, playing regularly, scoring goals, hopefully. And I'm just really impressed. Again, another, we should have a little competition here. Victorian Plumbing, lovely shirt there. Macron designed.
Of course you love that. Of course you'd love that.
Plumbing, the Victorian
English.
Era. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. But Johnny Kenny, happy with that one, Connor?
Delighted for Johnny Kenny. Good day for the rep tracker.
That's a loan move, isn't it?
Yeah, loan move until the summer. And I think you saying he done okay when Martin O'Neill first came in is an understatement. He was absolutely brilliant. He scored the goals. Obviously, he scored the big goals against Rangers, which made him loved by by Celtic fans for that short period, and then he got the Ireland call up, which was fully deserved. Made his debut in November, and like the only problem I have with it is I feel bad for Johnny in the sense that he's got so much abuse, so much stick, which was so unwarranted. And now he kind of does he come out of the Ireland picture now because he's gone to League One? I would worry slightly about that because
Mm.
as well as much as I rate him, much as I like him, we don't pick players playing in League One, and we haven't
Yeah.
since for Steve Kenny first got the job. And like when we're looking at the Irish strikers, at present the number like you'd think the three that have always been there is Ferguson, Power, Ida, and then the ones trying to break in were your likes of your Sinclair Armstrong, Tom Cannon, and then Johnny Kenny came into that picture now. But because them two are both playing in the championship and he's in League One, even if he scores loads and loads, like what Aaron Connolly was doing even in October, November, he was not getting a sniff, he wasn't getting near it. So it'll be interesting if even if the other lads, if he is still out or Kenny scored 10 goals and that will he not be in the equation now because he's been in League One. But just on like at this moment, I said what 22-year-old Johnny Kenny's club career should come first because he's not going to be a star. He's not going to get in over Power to Ferguson as our starting number 9 anytime soon. So he needs to go to a club that he's loved in. I think it is perfect for him because Bolton are in a promotion race. If they get promoted, I think they'd sign him on a permanent deal. Obviously, he has to do well first, but I think it's a good move for Johnny. I think he'll score goals there. I think he'll get loved not just by players and his teammates, but and the gaffer by the fans is the most important thing. You want to be loved like he was at Shamrock Rovers, and we've seen how well he done in Europe with Shamrock Rovers against teams that are just as good as the teams he'll play in League One. So yeah, I think it's a good move for Kenny. Get back playing regularly, feel loved is the main thing. Confidence is everything with players, and you could see his confidence had diminished in recent weeks at Celtic. And he's going to go on and hopefully have a huge end this season with Bolton.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And I can understand the age of him. I- is he kind of thinking maybe realistically that he probably won't get in the Ireland squad, and he's thinking club over country at the moment? Or I
I
wouldn't
don't think
knock
so.
him.
I don't think he's thinking. I wouldn't think he's thinking like that right now. But obviously this move
It's a
doesn't
weird
help that.
one, though. It's
I do
not.
think he still
I
thinks he'll
don't
get
think you
in.
can. Do you think you
Mm.
can? I don't know.
I don't
Like
think.
again,
I don't think he can in League One, but I don't think he doesn't think that. Like I still think he thinks he's still
yeah,
because obviously he was in the
that-
picture in November, but it's going to be very hard. And like it was reported, what he turned down moved to Schalke, who were what top of Bundesliga 2,
mm,
and the was it the Norwegian team or the Danish team, or top Danish league. But I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, why wouldn't you go to Schalke?" But I'm guessing he wasn't promised to be the starting number 9, the main number 9. I think his Bolton have been after him to try to sign him in the summer, but Celtic wouldn't sell him, and he's going to go to Bolton and be the main number 9 and be the main thing. So yeah, I don't think it's really his fault as such, and I hope he really does well because he's a lovely fella and a very good striker.
yeah. I mean, this is the thing as well. We've got some really young players coming through, and they making career choices now. Loan moves with a view to being permanent as well. So wish them all the best. Brilliant. Okay, we've got another one coming up. Teo, he's
Go
moved,
on,
isn't he, to Sheffield Wednesday?
What's the second
What's
name?
that?
What's the
Aramola.
second name?
Adaramola. Yeah,
Adaramola, yeah.
Adaramola. Yeah, I thought
Well
I'd
done.
mispronounce it
Uh,
so people might just miss if I did it in a Dublin accent. They might think it was Dave because he can never get a name right. But there he is. Yep, putting Mr. Vega. Is it Mr. Vegas?
I'd say it's Mr. Vegas. It has to be casino.
Yeah, it's got a bet in. Yeah, we shouldn't be announcing these. They're not paying us, are they? Can't have to advertise them.
No.
But anyway, that's him signing for Sheffield Wednesday. That's a lovely kit as well. Another Macron one, really nice.
Yeah, lovely.
But yeah, brilliant move for him. What any news on that one? I've seen a fantastic interview, wasn't it, with him?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, talking about how his best conversation ever with a manager on the phone, and I think it's a brilliant move. I think for Teo. Well, it's not a brilliant move. It's a good move because you don't know yet. Because the reality is he's going into a club at Sheffield Wednesday, who have really struggled this season, even without the points. The administration, they were going to get relegated anyway because they weren't able to sign anyone like the likes of Barry Bannon, who was their one or a club legend really, has left now and gone to Millwall. And yeah, but I think it's a really good move for Teo Daramola. he was in the championship when he was 18. I'm sure you've seen that part interview when he said he wasn't ready at that stage. It was too much too soon. He went to Coventry, he took a big hit in him, I believe, on his confidence anyway. Then went to Stockport for a while, done okay. Went to Bradford City last season for the second half of last season, absolutely tore up League Two as they got promoted and was absolutely brilliant for them. Was definitely the best wing back in the League Two when he went there. Went to Leyton Orient this season, was doing quite well. Obviously, wasn't tearing up no trees, but he was doing quite well. The fans liked him because if you're liked by a club when you're known, you're usually doing all right. And then it was a big shock when he got recalled by Palace or maybe sent back by Leyton Orient that they wanted to sign someone permanently instead. And then he's now gone back. I was worried now that he wouldn't get a good loan move because it was dragging on, dragging on, dragging on. I think, oh, he'll get someone in League One that's in a relegation race or something bad because I thought he might have went back to Bradford. But then this has popped up the Sheffield Wednesday, which has been a bit of a random one. Obviously, they had Harry Amas, who's the United left back. He's gone to Norwich now on loan instead. And I think it's a real opportunity for Teo because he's going to go into Sheffield Wednesday now, who are as good as relegated. Well, they are pretty much relegated. He's going to go in with very little pressure. Obviously, you're going to have pressure when you're playing for a big club, but you're not going to have the pressure of winning every because their fans expect to lose every game at the moment, and they don't expect big things. But if he can go in, have a really good end of the season, do really well because attacking wise, he's absolutely exceptional. He's absolutely brilliant. It's defensively that he's always needs to work on. And I do think as he gets older, it will constantly improve. I do think he's someone that will go on and be the future left back or wing back for Ireland because I think he is a top player, but it's just defensively he's had to improve on. I think Sheffield Wednesday will be a real test. I think I think it's more of a I would say it's more of a trial 6 months or what's it 4 months he'll go through to show he can play at that level because there's been a lot of players in the past have been in teams that finished last in the league or got relegated in leagues and have done really well and they've shown that they can stay at that level and have got moves from it. And I think that's hopefully what's going to happen with him. And it I know it's hard to think someone at Sheffield United, but it does put him in the Ireland picture. As I've said many times, if you're playing in the championship and you're Irish, no matter who you're playing with, and you're playing well, you are going to be in the Ireland picture to some extent, particularly on the likes of Ryan Manning hasn't been playing at all lately, but he will be picked. Robbie Brady will be picked if he's playing and fit, but he's still not back playing. I know he's back training, but he's not back playing yet. And your mate Todd has just disappeared. I'm guessing he's injured, but no one knows what's going on. So like I think he's going to put, if he does well, he's going to put himself in the Ireland picture. And I hope he does well because I really rate him.
Yep. Well, that's another one we'll be following here. This is like Sky Sports News. Turn it off if you're watching it.
Yeah.
This is
Will we go to the more
transfer deadline day.
Yeah. Will we go to the Festy stuff now because I think people are a bit confused what's going on with him.
Yeah. So Festy, what's the latest on him? Because it's a bit of speculation linking in with Wrexham. Where did that come from? Are you at fault for that rumor?
No,
and is there any truth to a rumor? Or is it another lie, Connor, that you often come out with?
I never.
Or should we doubt you? We never doubt you.
No, don't doubt me because I wouldn't do anything like that. No, it's a strange situation at the moment with Festy. Obviously it was David Schneid report earlier, and then it was coming from a couple of EFL reporters as well. So there's definitely something in it. West Brom wanted him as well, and it looked like he had chosen Wrexham, which would be a brilliant move. Team currently sitting sixth, I believe, in the championship, looking to not just finish the playoffs. They want to get promoted. They've invested a lot of money. They need a right wing back. Festy would probably be perfect for that role. Hasn't gone to plan this season in Istanbul. Has started a number of games, but it hasn't worked out for whatever reason. And it would be an opportunity to come back and play in England where we've seen him at his best and probably suits his style of football best as that wing back up and down for 90 minutes. And it was like, I was asked earlier by a Wrexham podcast to go on and speak about him and what we're going to do. And they were saying, the person texted me at 7:20 saying the club suggested it ain't happening. But like obviously clubs can say that. And we don't know have any the extra paperwork been filed with. I seen Wrexham posted they were signing Bailey Cadamatri. His father Danny played for Everton.
Cadamatri, yeah.
He signed for Wrexham, and they posted as their last deal the window. But we've seen clubs do that before and be like, we got you there. So we don't know if he's going there or not, or some other EFL club has came in last minute and took him, or some other European club. But it looks like he could end up staying at at Istanbul because we just don't know what's going on. There's been no more links. There's been no more updates about like, oh, there's stuff going on in the background because we just don't know. I'm constantly trying to find what is going on. Um, been given nothing. So it's not looking good at present. I wouldn't say there's definitely no chance, but at the moment, I'd probably hesitate 70% chance. It's not happening,
Mm.
and 30% it is happening. So like, I just hope it is because it would have been added to my list of another top
Brilliant.
Irishman playing in championship. And the reality is, Martin, I'm just thinking, those three lads that are getting the moves to championship teams, Andy, hopefully Festy and Teo, that's three teams that we haven't really had much Irish affiliation with this season. Obviously, Brady's not hasn't played for Preston. Will Keane left, but he played once, didn't he? James McLean was playing for Wrexham, but he wasn't really playing at the same time, even though he did play a lot of minutes, but he wasn't really at the same time. And Teo Darmo had gone to Sheffield Wednesday. I know Gabriel Ottagabeo's was there, but like he's been kind of in and out, still a young centre half. So it's it would be quite a good thing just from an Irish perspective, just watching players. As I love to watch the 3 o'clocks on a Saturday, watch how Irish lads are getting on. But um, yeah, it's I don't know what's going on with Festy, to be honest with you, Martin. I don't think anyone really knows what's going on until night. What is it
9.
10 o'clock?
Well, yeah, I
What?
think is it 9? Like they the deals have got to be done by 9. The paperwork's for 7 in, so like you're active 9, then you have to have it done by 9. But then they drip. I mean, they're still coming through. I'm watching. I've got Sky in the background here. You know, it drips through, doesn't it? Because how they want to do the announcements and things like that. Sometimes they can get to special dispensation things, but you know, I think other moves can happen still tomorrow though, because they don't all end today, do they? The transfer windows, I think so. If you can probably do loan deals out internationally, I would say, but this is the UK window closes, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
But
UK.
look, I would say to you, Festy, I'd be delighted for him if he could get that. I mean, they're a massive high profile club. I mean, look, we had James McLean there, and everyone kind of did know and was keep an eye on the score, even though James McLean the last few years hasn't
Yeah.
been as frequently playing. But you know the Wrexham story, and you think, imagine if he'd have played there, it'd be amazing. So, you know, we've got to just be patient, but we've got it all covered here. Make sure you do follow
Is
Connor at Rep Tracker,
are
because
they still
that's where
making
even afterwards there'll be lots of
yeah?
information coming.
Are they still making the Wrexham documentary every year?
I think they are, aren't they? With the profile of it and all that. Pretty sure.
Yeah, but I'm just here. I'm just going on the transfer market here because it shows when every window closes. So obviously England has closed now, but obviously there's some late ones because I believe we haven't spoke about Ida Momaku and haven't got because I believe
Yeah.
he's signing for Oxford United on a permanent deal, and it is got through late paperwork. But I'm trying to figure out here, what windows closed or what have closed, and I'm just going to look here at because Festy has been linked with a move back to Italy with Swallow. I've seen Gianluigi Di Marzio has said that. The one in Italy, I believe, closes today, but I don't think it's closed yet.
Yeah,
So
because there's
he
a lot
need.
of talk in there, Evan Ferguson. We'll come on to chat about.
Yeah. Do you want
There's
to
a
go
little
into
bit
that
of.
now?
Yeah, no. I think we'll wait a little bit more for that. We'll
Oh,
wait a little bit more
oh,
for that. But no, let's just go this one because I want to just wrap these two up the pictures we have of them. We got the guys ready. So this is Romeo Akachukwu. He's gone to Colchester.
yeah.
What can you tell us about him? That's a good move.
Big surprise to be honest with you, Martin.
League
I'm
Two.
very surprised he's gone to League Two. To be honest with you, very highly thought young player. Player that I really highly. Has been excellent. For club and country over the last couple of years. And you know, seen him play for Waterford in the League of Ireland, knows how good he is. He um he scored his first ever he scored the youngest ever player to score a hat trick in the League of Ireland playoffs. And yeah, he's gone to Colchester now. Has been excellent for Southampton for the last couple of years at 21s level since making the move from Waterford. Technically superb. Would you might like this comparison, but sometimes plays a bit like Pogba in terms of his ability to take the ball on a half turn, drive forward with it, use his body. Kind of has that long stride of a real like powerhouse midfielder. Doing excellently well. at 21 level, and has been in around the first team a lot this season for Southampton. Has been permanently upgraded to the first team dressing room in terms of training with them every single day. But obviously it's been a struggle to get a good loan move this month because it's very hard to get a loan these days. At the moment, it seems very hard for young players to get a loan move unless you're at a Man United or a Liverpool where you're playing up in the top. Even though we've seen with Trent Doherty, somehow he hasn't got a loan move, which I think is an absolute disgrace what Liverpool have done. I've seen they said because he's of his contract, they want to extend his contract instead, and they didn't believe any of the moves were good for his was good for his future. So which is an absolute ridiculous thing to do, just holding a boy. He's 20-year-old against his will. But yeah, the thing is, Romeo needs to get out, get first team experience. He's better off being in League Two really than being not playing at all, to be honest. Because if you're playing in 21s football, it's just gets stale. It's no competition. He's better off getting out League Two than not at all. But I'm just surprised he's gone to League Two. I thought he would have got League One. And what I'd heard, there was loads of One teams were in from us. So I'd love to know what had changed that the club decided to go with League One moves. But I hope he does well because he's a brilliant player, and I know he will do well. He's too good to go to that level, so he should do excellently well. And we'll hopefully kick him on now for March for the 21 qualifiers again.
Nice one. Right, and we also have Jacob Devaney, Man United player, under 21 captain, and he's gone to Scotland. Not to Scotland to play for Scotland. He's gone up there and he's going to form a formidable partnership in midfield alongside Killian Phillips, according to, I'm paraphrasing that, according to a wonderful tweet here from @RepTracker. I've added formidable, but yeah, happy with this one. Off he goes, St Mirren. Really good player, isn't he, this lad? I've heard lots of things, obviously, United fans about him. That's a good move, I think.
Yeah. Right. It hasn't been the move hasn't been announced yet, which is strange though, because I don't know when.
Beep 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 beep.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, United are saying that.
I don't know when the Scottish one. I don't know whether they just can't announce it. They don't need to be in a rush. But yeah, he's signing for St Mirren. If not signed, I'm guessing he probably is signed it. Signed already. But yeah, really good. I think it's a really good loan for Jacob. Even though St Mirren are struggling this season, they did win the Scottish, what was it, the Premier Sports Cup to beat Celtic in the final, which Celtic fans will love to hear about. But yeah, excellent young player. Oh, sorry, as Nick says there, Martin, you want to pull up the comment, close at 11. Yeah, done excellently well. United 21s this season, captain of 21s, scored one world class goal. When you remember against Notts County when he ran the whole pitch, has been brilliant for Ireland 21s. It's brilliant for Ireland since making his debut for the 19s last year. Obviously the England under 21 game stands out, even though we lost the game. I thought he was man the match that day. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. He ran the show midfield against, what was it, Joe Bellingham, Lewis Miley, Ethan Nwaneri. So yeah, really, really high potential player, brilliant player. He's really liked at United. I think he has pushed this move in particular to get out, because I don't think if he wouldn't have pushed it, they would have let him out on loan, because we've seen with big academies, unless you really push for loan, they'll tell you to do it. So yeah, I really hope he does well. I know he will do well because he's an excellent young player, and yeah, he'll be beside Killian Phillips in midfield, an Irish partner. And it's, even though you think, oh, we won't get an Ireland team playing in for St Mirren, but if he can go to St Mirren and he can show he's miles better than Phillips or play levels above him, it could put him in the picture. Because I know he backs himself. He's a really good mentality, and I think it's a good first step in men's football for Jacob Devaney, because St Mirren needs something in that midfield probably to help them turn their season around a bit. And yeah, I know you rate him highly as well, Martin. So I'm looking forward how he does out on loan. And it's another young Irish player to watch in first team football.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're following that, of course, and yeah, we're going to come on now, and we've seen all your comments come in. Absolutely brilliant. We know that some of the windows are closing different times as well. We're going to try and cover everything again, get to all your comments. But first of all, we need to go to OBIG to catch up with how the lads actually got on playing over the weekend. So we're going to do that now. And
are we?
Yeah, we're not.
We're not going to the Ferguson news first, as it's.
Oh yeah, we're doing Ferguson news. Okay, but we're going to come back to the transfer stuff, Connor.
All right.
And first of all, and the other thing I want to interrupt is, well, so someone contacted you from Wrexham, wanted to go on their podcast. Yeah, That's not a deal that we've negotiated, is it? We haven't negotiated any deal like that. A loan, that would be a loan, a very temporary loan. Yeah, right. We've got to make sure that comes across first. Right. What do you want to do? Let's go Roma then. All right.
Yeah, because everyone's talking point.
Everyone's asking.
Everyone,
Right, what's
yeah,
happening with
everyone's asked.
Evan? Who's off to Turkey? What's going on? His agent, I've got a little comment here. I'm going to put this up. Ferguson's agent is heading to Istanbul tomorrow. Galatasaray would be a terrible move for me, says Kim on. What do we
I
know?
don't know. I don't know. No, no, there's been no official reports. Nothing really confirmed. There's been links over the last couple of days mentioning Galatasaray for Ferguson, but like obviously it was coming from Turkish sources. You never knew what was happening. But um, the thing for me, his agent put out an Instagram story today about 2 hours ago, saying he is he is heading to Istanbul. Probably tomorrow, as Kim on said, and yeah, so obviously Galatasaray's been linked with him on Twitter and stuff. I know his Alex in there. He thinks it'll be Fenerbahce, but we just don't know because no reputable source, no one has said it yet. Because what Galatasaray doing, Ali's trying to say that he knows everything. I wouldn't trust Ali with anything, but yeah, so we don't know, but it looks like at the moment it looks like Evan could be ending up in Turkey, which would be pretty mad. And like Galatasaray would be a strange one because they have Ozzy, they have Icardi, so like I don't know why he was there. But even Fenerbahce is still a strange one because we've no Irish players ever went and played in the top team or like one of the top, what do you say, top three teams themselves in Besiktas or whatever. So obviously Festy went to Istanbul Başakşehir, but they're they're like a bit of a false club, aren't they? They haven't really done anything, but Fenerbahce actually they've John Duran as well as the thing. So like that's another striker. So um I don't understand. I don't understand where it come from. I want him to get out of Rome because I don't think Rome's the right place for him to develop, especially with Malin, Robinho, Faz, even though they lost tonight, which is good to see because Evan wasn't involved and can't blame him for not scoring. But yeah, it's strange. I don't understand. But his agent's definitely going to Istanbul tomorrow. I don't know who'd be best to be going to Istanbul for unless he's all of a sudden helping Festy move, but Festy has a different agent. So yeah, it's strange. I don't know what's going on. If he goes to Fenerbahce, I hope he does well. I hope he tears it up. But I just couldn't imagine a lad from Bettystown moving to Istanbul and playing for Fenerbahce, to be honest. Be a great life experience, obviously, but as a 21-year-old, it would be a bit of a shock, I think, to everyone that he would end up there. Maybe if he went there and scored goals and went on loan, done really well, delighted for him, but it would still be a surprise.
Yeah, it would be a surprise for me. I mean, look, Rome has just been a bit weird. Gasparini's a bit of a knob, isn't he? And never really. I don't think he's not greatly respected him, and I think he's just taken advantage of him being so young. And I think we want to show him a lot of love in March when he comes back in with Ireland. Because let's not forget as well, Troy Parrott stole a lot of the headlines fantastically well, but Evan was the big hope, wasn't he? And I think he'll come into that squad without a doubt if he's fit. But we need him playing and sharp. And it's just a strange one that he's kind of lots of speculation, wasn't there? Like you think of the last few weeks we've been chatting on this, and that Evan might be going, or could he be coming back to England and stuff? And there was none of this talk really that he was going to be going on anywhere like Turkey or anything. So it's a bit out there for me. But I can understand it. It's how modern football works. That's Ali Tommy just says it's defo Fenerbahce though. In Turkey you can only have 8 players on the pitch that are not Turkish, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting anyway. But yeah, look, we'll break the news if we get anything on Evan Ferguson or any of these late transfers as well. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. That's Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, of course, as well. And that's where you love the breaking news. And follow at Rep Tracker for a very excited Connor, still glowing in basking in the love for Andrew Moran. I'm going to put this photo up one more time. Just this. I mean, this is going to be a shirt that's going to
get me arrested
on you soon. Right. Now we are definitely getting on to Obig, but then we'll get on to your comments. But thank you as well for your input this evening. And this is Obig, where we catch up with how the boys in green got on over the weekend. Here we go. So this is the goalkeepers. Here we go. All right. Anything wrong on this? You can blame Connor. Queeving Kelleher, 90 minutes in a 1-0 loss versus Aston Villa. Max O'Leary, 90 minutes and a 3-0 loss versus, I don't know who that was, Josh Keeley, 1-0 win versus Blackpool, 90 minutes, and Mark Travers, an unused sub. And Gavin Bazunu injured for Stoke City. Just to correct Queeveen Kelleher, did he not win the game against Aston Villa?
Oh yeah, actually they did, yeah.
Yeah, that's what threw me. Okay, so again, I precursored that one. But yeah, great, isn't it? I just want to go on about Keith Andrews again. Brilliant. Actually, heard on, was it Up Overlap or Stick to Football or whatever it was? Roy Keane actually said, "Oh, Keith's doing a great job there," but he threw gritted teeth. But no, fair play, amazing. What Keith Andrews is doing, that was a fantastic result for them, and absolutely flying it. And Queeveen, a big part of that. And Nathan Collins, we're going to come on to the defender, but Nathan Collins did start on the bench, didn't he, for that game?
It was a great win for Keith Andrews, up to 7th. Was it 4 points off Champions League football, which is mad to think. Brilliant manager, doing a good job. 3 wins for Aston Villa this season, 2 in the league, 1 in the cup. Couldn't ask for much better. Gallagher had a good game and goals. And Collins started on the bench. It was a knock. They confirmed it on Sky Sports. It wasn't dropped, but some people thought he might have been. So he's on his on his way to back being the team, I'd say, next week, because it's very strange though to not be, to be on a bench with a knock and come on for the last half an hour. But it was good to see him still come on and make an impact, help them keep a clean sheet in what was a big win for Brentford, who are absolutely flying. I did say Aston Villa would finish 7th last week, and I'm going to be proven right. But anyway, so it was a good week for the Irish lads in that context. Good week for Josh Keeley to get a clean sheet again. Most clean sheets in League One. Max O'Leary had a bit of a mayhem again for West Brom. Malenik Ali's goal, who we'll probably speak about in 40s. No, he's not added back on yet. All Dave's fault. Scored his first goal for Portsmouth the weekend. Even though it was an okay goal, it was a decent goal to get in the position and score, but he nutmegged O'Leary with the shot, which should never have been nutmegged with. So not a great moment for O'Leary, who's not started very well at West Brom.
Okay, right, here we go on to the defenders. So first up, we have Robbie Brady back on the grass with Preston. John Egan, 90 minutes in a 1-0 win versus Blackburn for Hull City. Seamus Coleman, an unused sub for Everton. Nathan Collins, as we mentioned there, 30 minutes in a 1-0 win coming off the bench versus Villa. Matt Doherty, an unused sub for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Joshua Honohan, out injured at the moment with Lincoln. Jake O'Brien, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Brighton for Everton. Andrew Amabamadelli, an unused sub for Strasbourg. Darrow O'Shea, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Preston North End for Ipswich Town. And Liam Scales, 90 minutes in a 2-0 win versus Falkirk for Celtic. James Abankwa, 90 minutes, 2-0 loss versus Swansea for Watford. And Jimmy Dunn, 90 minutes, 2-1 win versus Coventry for QPR. Callum O'Dowd, not in the squad for Baron Varos. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Millwall for Sheffield United. Ryan Manning, 1 minute, 2-0 win versus Stoke for Southampton. And Aaron Cash, 90 minutes in a 1-0 loss versus Hull for Blackburn Rovers. Anselmo Garcia McNulty, 90 minutes, 4-1 win versus Telstar as well. And Will Ferry, 90 minutes and a 3-0 loss versus Hearts for Dundee United. And Corian Darba was an unused sub for Lecce. And that is your defenders. Anything of note there? We already spoke about Nathan Collins, but anything?
Kind of quiet, wasn't it? I seen John Egan was linked with Ipswich and West Ham, actually, because he's been really good, which would be interesting. Even though it's probably good he's in a Hull playing regularly, team sitting in the playoffs. Teams kind of helped him do well. He's doing quite well with them. Not quite well is an understatement. Will Ferry was also linked with moves away to the MLS as well. I don't think their window's closed yet, but I'd be surprised if Dundee United let him go when they haven't got a replacement for him. Aaron Cashin's been playing at left back the last 2 games for Blackburn, obviously not his best position, but he's doing quite well. Celtic have improved massively since back in the team. Not much else to add. Josh Honan's still not back from injury. Actually, Dunn went back to right back at the weekend as well. But a big win over Coventry, massive win for them. Good to see. So it'd be interesting if he stays at right back now.
Yeah, one again stood out there for me though. Omar Bamadelli, like, just can't get fit. They're not picking him. I just don't know. I'm not going to do a Dave on it and say he'll be retired by 25, but we cannot be relying on players who don't play. That's my point.
But you can't be saying that. He's 23.
No. What
he
I'm
was
saying
injured, and
he was no way he will get in that March squad. He will not get in that March squad. That's what.
Unless he starts.
I'm not saying that forever. I'm saying he's got to get out there. He's got to play. Like they've got to play. Unless there's something massively wrong.
It hasn't helped that Limmer Senior has left and Gary O'Neill has come in and he's changed it to a 4 at the back. And obviously the games that came in, the other lads were doing well. I know they lost to PSG the other night, so it might help him coming back into the team. Or obviously the Conference League will be back.
He just doesn't play though, does he? Anywhere he goes, he doesn't play.
Well, he was playing. He just was injured.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
He was. Don't be
I'm
so
not going down the whole
silly.
No, but I'm just saying,
anywhere. He's only been at 3 clubs. He was only at 3 clubs.
He went to Forest. He didn't play hardly at all.
Yeah,
did he?
That was one.
Didn't even get the match day squad.
But he was playing the first season, and the second season he came out of it bitly. But like he was at Norwich, he was playing full time. Broke through very young, and probably the beauty of breaking through young, you get a lot of pressure on you, particularly as a defender. I think you're being a bit too harsh. I think give him a chance.
50 games, 50 games in 21 to 23, so 2 seasons. Obviously, appearances 50. 2023, 2025, Forest 11 games. Then he's gone to Strasbourg, loan 10 games, and so 25 is 22 games since he's been on loan in a year.
Since it was Strasbourg, but we all know injuries have been
10 Ireland caps since 2021. Mad.
Yeah, I just think injuries have been his kryptonite. I don't think it's his ability.
No, it's not him, but you can't be brittle, can you? You have to be week in, week out. Look, Darragh O'Shea, like every week he plays, doesn't he? Jimmy Dunn, to be fair, as well, now starts playing all the time. So that's my point. I know they're a bit older, but still, it just worries me some of these young lads coming through. Mark McGuinness doesn't play enough. He probably is now, though, a little bit, isn't he? But again, he's another one who moves same time, still can play against Wales together. I don't know. Right, here comes the midfielders. Jason Knight, 90 minutes in a 5-0 loss versus Derby. Killian Phillips, 90 minutes in a 0-0 draw versus Dundee. Will Smallbone out injured at the moment with Millwall still. Jack Taylor, 25 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Preston North End for Ipswich. Josh Cullen out injured, that ACL still. Bin Azaz, 90 minutes in a goal and a 2-0 win versus Stoke for Southampton. And Mark Sykes, 45 minutes in a 5-0 loss versus Derby for Bristol City. Jason Malumbi, 73 minutes in a 3-0 loss versus Portsmouth for West Brom, who continues to struggle. Andy Moran, he's back. He's left Brighton and he's gone to Preston. Jamie McGrath injured at the moment for Hibernian. And Alan Brown, 90 minutes in a 1-0 win versus Norwich for Middlesbrough. Boston Lowell, 90 minutes in a 2-0 loss versus Southampton for Stoke. And Connor Coventry, 25 minutes in a 2-0 win versus Leicester for Charlton. Joe Hodge, 70 minutes in a 0-0 draw versus Benfica. And that's your midfielders. Anything of note there? There's a few of them who need to come off that list.
What are you giving out? You're very a lot of I don't think any of them have to come off. I don't think any of them. I think you're smoking crack. I don't know what's wrong with you, but yeah, you've lost a lot. You've spent too much time with Mr. Dunn, but Joe. I watched actually because I only watched 20 minutes of Joe Hodge last night. I put on at halftime, and when I put on, I was delighted to see. I thought he was absolutely excellent in the short period I seen. Brilliant against Benfica, top team in Portugal, who beat obviously Real Madrid 4-2 the other day. And as his father said, which now means that Tondela are better than Real Madrid that they drew with Benfica. So I'm delighted for Joe Hodge. Even though Dave's trying to say stuff, probably never seen him play, but he's an absolutely brilliant player. He's always been a brilliant player, and obviously he's been a bit like Omar Bamadelli. It's been injuries have been his kryptonite over the years. And I thought he was absolutely excellent. And I do think, obviously, it's going to be very hard for him to get in the Ireland squad. Whilst playing for Tondela, who are obviously on a top Portuguese side. But I do think if he just continues to do well this season, keeps playing like he did the other night, I think he will end up getting a good move in the summer to a team who are either high up in the Portuguese league or a different team across Europe or wherever he wants to go, because he's a superb player and always has been. And I was pleasantly very surprised how well he done, because it's not easy to play against Benfica when your team is kind of sitting back. But every time they had the ball, he was on it and he was making things happen, which was good to see. Um, Alan Bryan was back in midfield at the weekend for Preston, or sorry, Preston Borough, which I don't want to see happen. I want to see him to stay at right back, because he's doing really, really well at right back, and I think that's his best position at the moment, is right back. Um, Other than that, it looks like Killian Phillips, the MLS moves aren't going to happen. Obviously Andy Moran's back now. Jimmy McGrath missed the game through injury. Connor Coventry didn't start for Charlton against Leicester, but I believe he's had a knock for the last couple of weeks and he's kind of playing through an injury. But the most exciting thing at the weekend was Finazaz against Boston while Stoke. I thought Boston, while he started at centre half, played the second half at right back, which sums up Stoke at the moment, the mess they are with injuries and stuff. So we're still not getting to see him play regularly in midfield. Not to his fault at all. And I thought he was decent enough. He couldn't really do too much, but I thought Azaz, man of the match. The goal was kind of a tap in, and the reality was confidence is just everything to Finn Azaz. The way he started, it's mad the way the goal went in, which is a tap in, absolute ease for Finn Azaz. But the way it just changed this whole game from them, and even though the goal was very early, if you'd seen him last week and you watched him this week, you think it's a completely different player. He started picking up the ball in the halfway line, started pinging these balls in behind Tom Fellows, who were absolutely top class. And Finn Azaz at his brilliant best, constantly on the ball, constantly looking to make things happen, taking the ball on the half turn, playing balls in behind, looking to feed the strikers, looking to feed the wingers, and deservedly so one man the match. And yeah, it was great to see Finn Azaz at his brilliant best, because when he's at his brilliant best, he's an absolutely outstanding footballer. And it's just a thing of consistency with him and keeping the confidence. Maybe a thing of when he loses a bit of confidence, of how he can still maintain his standards to at least be a 6 or 7 out of 10, because when he's bad, he tends to be very bad, is his only issue at the moment. But yeah, it was great to see him do very well the other day, and I thought he was deservedly one man the match, which is a great thing for a midfielder to do. And hopefully it'll start a run now of him heading into March of being his best, because he's going to be in the Ireland squad no matter what. Will very, very likely start as well. So yeah, we need him playing well.
Yep, brilliant. See, all right, here we go. The attackers. Festy Abasele not in the squad. Bit of speculation, obviously, about transfer moves, as we've discussed. Evan Ferguson out injured at the moment with Roma. Again, speculation when he might be on the move. Adam Eder still out injured at Swansea City present. Casey McAtee, an unused sub for Ipswich Town. And Troy Parrott, 90 minutes in the goal and a 3-1 loss versus NEC for AZ Alkmaar. Sammy Schmodik's not in the squad, but confirmed that he has now moved to Derby on loan. Sinclair Armstrong, 45 minutes, 5-0 loss versus Derby. Mikey Johnson, 63 minutes in a 3-0 loss versus Portsmouth. And Rocco Vata, sadly out injured, probably for the rest of the season. Tom Cannon, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Millwall. Chidozie Ogbene, an unused sub for Sheffield United. Tyler Goodrum, out injured at Oxford United. Adomo Maku, unused sub for Millwall. Johnny Kenny, out injured at the moment, but obviously moved today to Bolton. And that is your attackers. So, Troy scores again.
Shock. Sky's blue. Yeah, he scored. It was a lovely finish, in fairness. Very bad result, obviously losing to NEC, but a lovely finish from Troy to get another goal. I seen it was linked today that PSV tried to come in for him this morning to try and sign him, because Ricardo Pepe was going to sign for Fulham, and they needed to get a replacement if they were going to sell him, and they tried to get Troy, but obviously they weren't going to get him. AZ weren't going to sell him to PSV. So yeah, Troy scored again. Lovely finish. That's kind of what you expect. Unfortunately, he's outgrown the Dutch league at this stage. He's ready for the next move. He's ready for a level above. But you can understand why he'd want to stay this summer. Big games in March. We'd rather him playing well than taking a risk at this stage. So yeah, I'm happy to see him stay until the summer anyway. Obviously, Evan, we don't know if he was still injured or not, or it is because of a move. Festy hasn't been in the squad because of, it looks like he's moving as well. See him at Smodics because he's gone to Derby now. Ido Mako didn't play at the weekend, but obviously he's going to Oxford now, so quite a lot of movement on our big. Johnny Kenny gone to Bolton now as well. I presumed he was still injured the weekend, but obviously not if he was involved. If he was involved in that game, and yeah, it's obviously Bristol City played Derby on Friday night, where Derby absolutely battered Bristol City. Sinclair came on at halftime again, like he done last week. Obviously, couldn't really do much when they were like 3-0 at halftime. Tough night for Jason Knight. He's kind of been out of form a bit lately, and obviously Mark Sykes was hooked at halftime. He's one player that was hooked for Sinclair. Good Ogbane was on the bench, but I don't know how good it is because he's not playing. But we trust him to get his spot back. Just someone who we've not on IBIG at the moment, Louis Barry. It was thought that he wouldn't get a move for the rest of the season, but he's now actually gone back to Stockport in League One, which is obviously a step down from where he was at. But it does make sense in the sense that he is still going to be out until I would say late March, early April, and no championship team's going to, especially, but because of the connection he has with Stockport and how well he done with them, not in just League One last season, but in League Two when he helped them get promoted. He is going to join up with them after and help them get their promotion finally to the championship. And it would be, if he can help them get promoted to championship this summer, he would probably go back to them in the summer again. Maybe the permanent move at this age, because he's 22 and you can't just keep going out on loan after loan at that age. So yeah, I think it's a win-win for all parties by him doing that. Obviously, it's a risk of threatening to get back fit in time, but I think it is a good move. Obviously, and also Mikey Johnson's is struggling a bit at the moment since Eric Ramsey, the ex set piece coach, came into West Brom. He has he's been playing like right wing back, and it does not suit them at all. They've gone through a really bad run of results. They were battered the weekend by Portsmouth. We spoke about Millie Ali scoring, has been brilliant in a couple of games that I've seen him play for Portsmouth so far, which is great to see. I think he's having a midfielder with two darts, with his pace, his power, his ability on the counter attack. And it's mad to think, Martin, that we went to watch Luton a couple of weeks ago. Jack Wilshere didn't think he was good enough to play for Luton anymore because he wasn't his style of player of dominating possession, and he makes a step up to the championship, and he'll probably get a big move in the summer to someone bigger in the championship, which is mad to think. But yeah, so it's good to see him doing well. But yeah, Johnson is struggling. Yeah, but hopefully he'll get back to his best soon. It's been a tough time for some, but just some other Irish lads transfer related. It looks like, I think Stefan Negru is signing for Hibs on loan. I'm just going to check here to see if that move's still happening. Jack Moorhouse has been recalled by Man United because his loan has gone that well at Leyton Orient. I don't really think it's his fault. I think it's just a team he's in. It's been a real struggle. And he will probably, hopefully, he could be one that could end up getting a loan to the continent, maybe Tree and Eyes links in like Switzerland and stuff, that Swiss team that Jim Ratcliffe or Ineos owns. And yeah, and obviously Adu Maku's move is done. It just is yet to be announced by Oxford United. We spoke about Jacob Devaney, who hopefully will become soon part of IBIG. His move to St Mirren was announced as well. So yeah, it's an exciting day from my point of view. A lot of changes will have to be made to IBIG and stuff. And yeah, hopefully the future is looking bright, because we needed particularly young lads were the most important in getting moves this month.
Yeah, busy day, obviously. Well covered, Connor. And thanks everyone for watching along this evening. And you've got your comments. We're going to get to them very, very soon. But we just wanted to as well let you know of how you can support the page forever if you'd like to. We've got Lansdowne Raw Plus for $4.99 a month. You can help support the page and our future. And we get extra content on that. You get State of Play, which is our take on all things football. Got a lot of retro stuff on that as well. And with a bit of a crack there, it's a little bit more harsher, may I say. There's a few. We had one of the most rantiest ever chats one night, and it's behind Lansdowne Raw Plus, so it's well worth just having a look at that. But yeah, probably things we wouldn't, in a way, well, we are always very honest and out there on it, but we probably went a little bit harsher than usual. But also you can support us as well by buy us a coffee, and if you want to give a one-off donation. And also, as I said, and I'm sporting it here on my shoulder, these is our fantastic our designs, a little collaboration we did with a fantastic designer friend of ours, and that was to design some amazing beer coasters. We'll look the part, pull your pint out onto a table in Prague when we're there, and sit it down on a Heimer coaster, and you'll be the envy of all your friends. But we've also got stickers as well, so you can throw them around all the lampposts and bars and toilets and everything as well. And you can get those as well. The link how to do so is in the description of the show. So thank you very much. Right, Connor, good part of the show done already. We've done a lot of your comments already, so we will be filtering out some of those. But thank you again for your support this evening. And make sure, if you haven't already, do subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. But now we're going to come on to your comments. Right, very busy show. Lots of comments coming in as well. Thank you again for your interaction. Cormac Momo, based on the current Preston team, what position is Moran likely to play? Who's this Moran he's on about, Connor?
Don't know, I've never heard of him, but likely to play as one of the two number 10s. They play with 3-4-2-1 that Ireland playing. On that, they could play him deeper. I wouldn't be surprised if they did at times, but I would expect them to probably play as one of the two 10s behind the striker.
Okay. And BJMM, is Bosun ever going to play midfield?
If the other team stop getting injured half the time, he'll probably playing right back, to be honest, this weekend, because Chamadu's still not back. What's the name? The fella that played right back, the Ukrainian fella, I believe he's Ukrainian, had been playing right back in recent weeks anyway. Centre half was up against Cienza, the South African fella, and got absolutely torn apart at the weekend, and they took him off at half time because of how bad he was getting torn apart, and Boston had to go right back in the second half. So yeah, so I just he'll probably play right back this week, to be honest, until Chamadu's back, and I don't think he's back for another couple of weeks anyway.
Are you worried a little bit though? You know, like we've been talking him up, Boston, and thinking he could be solving one of the problems Heimer's going to have with Josh Cullen being out. Want to see him playing in midfield. The longer it goes without him showing what he can do in midfield to Heimer, I know Heimer would have seen him, and I know John O'Shea is a big fan of him in there, but we're talking about a player who may be having to make their debut for Ireland in a World Cup playoff away to Czechia. Is that realistically going to happen, Connor?
The longer it goes on, the more worried I'd get, to be honest, because it's a piss take what's going on at Stoke at the moment. It's not his fault. You can't even blame the teammates because they don't mean to get injured. It's not their fault that they're getting injured. So, yeah, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his teammates constantly getting injured and stuff. So, yeah, it's just disappointing that it keeps on. Like, it makes it easier and easier as the weeks go on for Heimer to not pick him as a midfielder as such. And I know John O'Shea was actually at the game at the weekend. He posted he was at the game, seeing himself going up against Finnazaz, which was quite good. But yeah, it's disappointing at the moment.
Okay. And BJM also says, do you think Evan Ferguson works hard enough?
Yeah, I do. I think he does.
I think he does as well. I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Roma, how their style of play and everything. But, you know, when he was given the chances, he scored some great goals there. Technically really, really good. Technique fantastic for some of the goals. I don't have a problem with the work rate. I mean, saying that, it was very difficult and a challenging night for him in Portugal away when we went to Lisbon. Different game for him, though, you know, and I actually think Heimer got it wrong playing him that night because he wasn't 100% fit. And I think probably Ida might have had a bit more about him that night. Didn't get a lot of passes up to him, though, to be honest, but needed to do a little bit more. So that would be just one of my questions on that. Right, we are going to be just catching up with some of the transfer news, of course. Some of you asking questions on this. Schmodex will be signing for Derby according to Sky Sports. That's confirmed. I hope they can get him back up to scratch. He can offer plenty, says Harrison D. Also asked, we're going to repeat a bit of this, to be honest. Is Wrexham deal a done deal for Festy, says Martin Fitzpatrick? No confirmation on that one yet. And Nick also says Festy needs to get a move. He's hardly playing in Turkey anymore. We did have confirmation, of course, that Schmodix has gone to Derby. That's confirmed. Downtown agrees with us that it's a very good first loan for Devaney, Jacob Devaney, of course. A few more Irish lads needed moves, didn't move. Who are the players that didn't get moves that were badly needed? Connor, you must have a list of these, mustn't you?
Trent Coney Doherty, Joe Brian Whitmarsh, a lot of young lads, really. Noah Johnny, the under 21 keeper. Sean Grehan could have done with a move, to be honest, because he's not been playing at Doncaster. And I know the League of Ireland window is still open, so he could still go back there. Mark O'Mahony hasn't got a move. He was at Reading first half of the season. I don't know if his loan was ever terminated or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't because he hasn't been playing, hasn't been involved. Who else should have got a move? Leon Odiende, Conor McManus. A ridiculous amount of lads need a move that haven't got a move, and it's always very, very hard for a young player when they've been desperate to get out on loan and clubs aren't granting them. It's always this thing about, oh, we don't trust this club. The development doesn't. You've seen the wording with Liverpool, with Trent. It was clubs' interest in England and across Europe wanted them, but doesn't fit in what they'd say is their development plan for them, which is sometimes at this age, like particularly what he's turning 20 this year, and the longer it goes on, you're starting to think clubs won't want to take a shot on him, and maybe in the summer and stuff, because it's like he's 20 and he's not kicked the ball of first team football. What's this about? So it's quite disappointing for him in particular of all Irish players.
Yeah, something that AX2672 SDGK says no loan move for Conor Doherty. That's very poor from Liverpool. Yeah, we will blame Liverpool. He also asked, did Phillips head out St Mirren? We can say he didn't. I saw something on Twitter saying he's going to an American league, and dozens of them said it's not too much of a loss. I thought they loved him there.
They do. I've seen fans, and he's their best ever player. I've seen fans get interviewed and say, and they all say Killian Phillips. They all absolutely love him there. But yeah, I think he probably will end up in MLS, if not now, someday, because people wouldn't know that he was born in America, obviously. And moved back. His family moved back home when he was a young child, so he can go to America and be registered as an American national player. So he's not a foreigner; they're only allowed a certain amount of them. So yeah, I do think he will end up going to the MLS one day, if not now.
Okay. We chatted earlier about Johnny Kenny. Good move for him, or is it going to Bolton from Celtic? Frank O'Connor says Kenny has to come out of the Irish squad, being in League One. If they get promoted and do well, fine, but not now. And Nick also says Kenny only got into the last Ireland squad because Ferguson was injured. Shouldn't be in the March squad if all our strikers are fit. He's only 22 though, plenty of time. Different kind of take from AX2672. Kenny turned down offers from Schalke and the Championship. He's clearly prioritising his own pocket over getting in the World Cup squad. I would close the door on him. It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
I don't. It does. A loan move makes no odds. You can't set up a loan move because no matter where he goes, he's still be on the exact same wage as what he was on in Celtic. And sometimes it comes to clubs, and yeah, so yeah, like you can't really say it's any fault. I'd imagine the biggest reason he went is because Bolton have wanted him for so long. He would have been told you're going to guarantee he wouldn't be the starting striker for us, which probably wouldn't have been a guarantee going to Schalke, or going to that Danish side. So I could imagine it's probably down to minutes is the reason he's gone to Bolton over anyone else.
Okay. And Frank O'Connor, hope you're doing well, Frank. Great to have your support as usual, and looking forward to seeing March. According to my Dutch friend, PSV had inquired about Parrott, but were told no. Guess this is why Pepe ended up not going to Fulham.
Yep. By the way, the MLS window is open for another couple of months, so if Phillips was going to go, he could. There's no huge panic with it.
Good. Yeah. Okay. What is going on, says Val Maguire, with Cathal Heffernan? Any news on that one?
He signed for Harrogate.
Harrogate, yeah. Okay.
That was like 2 weeks ago, so he's played a couple of times already. He signed a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. How you doing well, Val? Gaelic edits. Jack Morehouse was recalled by Jack Morehouse, he means, doesn't he? Was recalled by United. We covered that earlier.
Yeah.
And Jason, a man who I'm sure is following the transfer window on the club shops, looking at the names of players that he'll have to get on shirt.
The press. He's gonna get. He's gonna have a Smolix Derby shirt ordered. He's gonna have fucking everything. You lunatic.
Andy Moran, Preston. He's got them.
You order me one as a present, Jason, just for being a legend.
What's the update on Festy? Schmodik's loan announcement there for Derby. According Ferguson to Turkey, according to Twitter. Yeah, no confirmation of any of those ones yet, apart from Schmodik's obviously going to Derby. Ferguson's agent is heading to Istanbul tomorrow. Galatasaray would be a terrible move for me. He says, come on, we covered a bit of that earlier. And Rory O'Connell says, well done, Connor, for getting asked onto another podcast. The Irish for Brits. Oh, no, there you
Cheers, go. Rory.
There you go. Kim on says, I'd rather he just went back to Brighton. That's in relation to Evan. And Rory also says, was Bologna not looking at Ferguson? Anything on that?
They were according to the Italian press, but it don't know what happened.
Okay. Rory chatting about Mikey Johnson. He saw Mikey Johnson playing a 10 role in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Was this just a mistake or has he changed position? Does he need a move to get into the squad because he is playing in Holland? Does that make sense?
I think that could be a typo, but he's been playing wing back really. A 3 back at the moment. So yeah, I don't think so. I don't think maybe because I know the first game where Eric Ramsey came in, he played. I can't remember who they're playing that night, but they lost. And he was at Middlesbrough. Actually, they were 2-0 down, go back to 2-2 and lost 3-2. He was playing wing back at the start, and then when they went 2-0 down, he moved back to 4 at the back, and then he went back to his natural left wing. But no, it's usually been playing right wing back, which has been quite depressing to see.
Okay. Also, Gug9194 says Chelsea record Mamadou Sarr, so you'd imagine Omar Bamadeli would get a bit more game time at Strasbourg. That's when we were speculating about him and why he's not playing too much. Frank O'Connor also says Martin is right. Just that's it. Martin is right. There's definitely one player who needs to come off that midfield list. I don't know who he means. Who does he mean?
He does. I know what he means, but he's being rude. I'm not listening to him.
Okay, Rory O'Donnell said, Rogue O'Connell, sorry. Where did Hodge play against Benfica? Was it a deeper role or a bit further forward in an 8 position?
A bit forward. It was kind of an 8/10.
Okay, and we've got sorry, go on.
No, that was it. It was kind of he was the closest man really to striker at times.
Okay, and then we got Jack Wilshere under the pseudonym of Nick B8008 saying Melenik Ali is class.
He is class.
So, yeah, very good player. Shaq Irissa says, "Why don't you think the boys in England are Why do you think the boys in England are struggling to kick on? Do you think they're struggling, Irish players?"
Yeah, it's just the hardest injuries to industry make in a certain country. But it's the place everyone wants to be. Everyone wants to play in England. Sometimes you don't know a lad's level until they go over and play in England or get challenged in that sort of setup. But I just think sometimes lads just don't end up reaching their potential for whatever reasons. Sometimes bad advice, sometimes wrong moves. But yeah, it's hard to know. Hard to know with each individual. It's kind of a player by player basis. Usually there's something that's gone wrong along the lines, no matter what country they'd be in. Sometimes things, injuries, sometimes bad attitude, not realizing how good sometimes lads are. Sometimes Irish lads don't realize how good they actually are. That kind of holds them back.
Okay. How is Sam Curtis getting on with his loan? Says Rory O'Connell. Didn't he score recently?
Yeah, he's doing really well at Chesterfield. He scored in his debut, and then last week he tried to clean the goal, but definitely couldn't. He put a cross in and the defender kicked in the back of his own net. But so he's doing very well at Chesterfield, which is really good to see. Get his confidence back and hopefully back in the 21s for March.
Okay, and Kimon also says maybe a move to Portugal would benefit Ferguson. Seems like all strikers do well there and could boost his confidence. Maybe,
he's too good. I think he's too good to go somewhere like Portugal.
Yeah. No Michael Hillier also says Wrexham has announced all business done. We're not signing Festy. Maybe in the summer. Okay, that's one we'll obviously try and follow. And often teams do come back in, don't they? Because they kind of get a lot of the vibe right and the money kind of idea right, and then it could just be different reasons sometimes. And Kimon says Heffernan is doing very well for Harrogate as per SofaScore. Gaelic edits. Could Trent go back to Derry? Will a League of Ireland club pick up Zeffy?
Trent, I don't think so. I don't think Liverpool will let Trent go out on loan now, unfortunately. Even though he could go back to Derry, but I just don't think they would, especially in that position of Michael Duffy, so they wouldn't be pushed to get a young lad in loan. Zeffy's not going to the League of Ireland team. He has a move. I think he's 85% deal done. Should be announced this week. You would think, because obviously he's a free agent, so he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to sign, obviously, by the end of today. But yeah, Zeffy's almost agreed to sign for a new club, but not in Ireland or in the UK either.
Okay. Russia says more bull on Festy. Kimon also says Melia, obviously Mason Melia, is going to stay at Spurs. I've just seen and will train with the first team. We would have hoped that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, but it was the case of whether he was going to stay and be a
Loan or
first team
whatever.
player or go out on loan. But Spurs, I was told last week anyway that they want to keep him anyway and be in the first team because I've seen this sign that James Wilson from Hearts to be the 21 strikers and a few messages asking what does that mean for Melia if they're signing a lad to be 21 striker, but it's because Media's going to be in the first team, which is a very exciting thought, even though he's not really trained with Spurs at all because of the back knock he had. But yeah, he's all good and hopefully ready to go by the end of this week or next week.
Okay. And Kimon also says, gutted for Festy if those rumours are true. And then we've got
rumours at this stage.
Yeah. And then Oren Martin asks a question: who's the best Irish player to never been capped, past or present? Present. Boston.
That's what I was going to say.
Past. Oh wow, that's a hard question actually. I'll have to give it a little bit of thought, that one. Few players qualified, and my immediate thought on this is players who did qualify and could have and were called, like for example, this would be, I know we have a very young viewership when you're on, Connor, but Steve Bruce, the fact that he was asked,
yeah, but he doesn't see himself as Irish, like.
Yeah, well, I know that. Well, Alex Bruce did for a little bit, and then he went to your lot, didn't he? He changed sides like you do. Flip flop. You're going on your Northern one later on. Your Northern horse one the other day called Northern. Did you know that? That was what it was called.
No, I didn't.
Northern. There you go. Yeah. And I'm going to go back even further. I'm going to go back even further on a player who qualified for Ireland, QPR striker in the 90s, Kevin Gallen. Top striker. Graham Taylor capped him, all right, to stop him going to Ireland because Ireland were coming in for him. But he was a really good player at one stage, really highly linked.
But if you wanted, I would say Chris Forrester. I would say Boston as well, but if someone like's been over the last 10, 15 years, Chris Forrester, why a brilliant player. Yeah, I think he would.
Jack Grealish.
Oh, shut up.
I don't know. That's a great question.
Harry Kane, or
well, people have put up Harry Kane. Actually, don't be knocking the viewers.
Nick, he's trying to wind us up.
Right. Thanks everyone for your interaction tonight. Almost 1,500 of you watching along tonight. So thank you again for your support, Lansdowne Raw. We really do appreciate it. We've got loads and loads of plans for 2026. The year has only just begun, but we can't wait to head off to Prague in just over a month's time. We'll be there covering Ireland as we attempt to get through to our crucial final on the 31st of March. We hope it will be a final in Dublin. Make sure if you haven't already got tickets for that playoff final, you can get them. There's a pre-sale with the FAI already now. Make sure you get behind the boys in green. If you haven't yet applied for your ticket for the FAI away portal, that closes tomorrow on the 3rd of Feb. Make sure you do that as well. You might as well be in it to try and win a ticket if you do qualify as a regular supporter. But yeah, look, if you want to follow Ireland, follow everything here because this is where it has to be. Lansdowne Raw. Connor, fantastic tonight. Great insight. We know it's been a very busy window for you. Your night's not finished yet, but because I'm sure there'll be a few breaking news stories to come, and we'll get the ins and outs of all those transfers. We'll be following the lads on OBIG regularly on our weekly show. But thank you for supporting us on our live shows. We do enjoy doing them. And make sure you do subscribe to the show so you get all the notifications of when we have our shows out. Connor, over and out. Cheers. Come on, you boys in green.